Hi there, Peggy. I'm back again with another video. Today we are talking about shipping. Now this is an interesting one, and I usually get on I get on my rant where shipping is concerned constantly because people lose their shops over shipping constantly. And they don't seem to want to learn. They just don't. They just don't. They just don't. Okay, shipping is the one thing that's outside of our control. So let me rant about some shipping for a while. And my God, I'm not going to touch on everything. Shipping is boring. Shipping is boring, but it's also tedious and it's fucking annoying because it's the one thing that we have the least control over. So, first off, your ship spy. People usually in the Etsy world we call it your ship spy. And this is and I don't know how this exists on other platforms. I know how this exists on Etsy, so this is pretty Etsy specific. Okay. When you are setting up your shop policies, what most sellers don't realize is that their ships by deadline, their thing where it says ships within 1 to 3 days, ships within 5 to 7 days, that is also your policy. Okay, so when you are outside of your policies, Etsy's policies automatically by default apply. That's something very, very, very important to know, because a lot of sellers are like, oh, I don't accept cancellations. It's like, well, wait a second. You also say you ship within 24 hours and you didn't. So I want to cancel for a full refund. You have to do it. Okay. When you say that your product will ship by a certain date and you are not shipping on time, Etsy will eventually have a problem with you. But what happens? Sorry, I'm a fidgeter. I'm like, I'll be lunging at the camera once in a while just for something to do. Sorry. Okay, when you give a ships by deadline, you need to stick to that deadline, or you are technically in violation of Etsy's terms of service. Etsy does expect sellers to ship their stuff out on time. You can be late once in a while, and it's not a big deal, but two things happen, okay? If you have a no cancellations, no refunds policy, that policy is immediately means nothing. You immediately, if your product has not shipped on time, you immediately default to Etsy's Etsy's policies, which are that the customer can return their product for a refund within, I think it's 30 days, and they don't need a reason. Ship your shit on time. If you want to play super competitive and ship within 24 hours, then it better be out the fucking door. Because if it's not, you don't get the protection of your other policies. Oh, if you want to cancel that, that's fine, but I charge a 20% restocking fee. No, you don't. You didn't ship on time. Oh, I don't accept cancellations. Yes, you do. You didn't ship on time. Ship on time. Keep your promise. And there are some people who pick, oh my God, there are so many people who say they ship within 1 to 3 days or within 24 hours and don't. Oh, as soon as I get an order, I just push it out to 2 weeks. That's a violation of Etsy's terms of service. There's an anti-competition law related to shipping, and it's basically a bait and switch. You're getting the business by promising a super fast shipping time, and then you're fucking with it once you get the business. You'll lose your shop the instant they realize what you're doing. And this stuff is all patrolled by bots. They will figure it out, and once they do, you're gone. If they figure out, as soon as they see that 80+% of your orders have the shipping deadlines pushed out, somebody's going to look at your account and go, oh, they're fucking around, bye, and they get rid of you. Pick a reasonable window for yourself. Mine is almost 2 weeks. I think mine's 10 business days, 7 to 10 business days. Pick a window that you can pick a window of time that you can accommodate and just deal with it. Stop being hyper competitive in a market where nobody fucking cares. Trust me. If I see that your turnaround time is 24 hours, I probably won't order from you because it's not realistic. It's like, oh, you're competing. You're competing on something that you don't need to compete on. What's your quality like? If you're so busy, if you're trying to make promises that I know you probably can't keep most of the time, then why? Why are you doing that? Anyway, that's just me because I'm an experienced seller. Experienced buyers, they probably have very different criteria, but I'm a seller, so I don't know. I will tell you, if you're not shipping on time, you're not going to be around for long. Especially if that is the default for you. You can be late shipping once in a while, and that's fine. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. That happens. Etsy's not a monster. Like, nobody's a monster when it comes to that. It's like, yeah, shit happens. No big deal. You have the ability to push out your shipping deadline. So let's get to that. Shipping deadlines. So I get an order. And something comes up and I'm not going to get it out the door on time. I am now obligated to contact my buyer and say, hey, this is what's going on. Is it okay? You have to get their consent. They have to be informed that you're pushing out your shipping time and they have to consent to it. Okay? If you do not inform them, you are in violation of Etsy's TOS. I can buy an item from you. Okay, I can buy an item from you. You push out the shipping time and don't tell me about it. I now get it. I say, what the fuck? This should have been, why is this not here yet? Oh, I had to push out the shipping time. You didn't inform me, so I want my money back. You're canceling this order. No, I don't accept cancellations. It's like, you abso-fucking-lutely do. And if I as the buyer put in a complaint with Etsy and say, yeah, this person didn't ship on time and now they're refusing to give me my money back, I will get my money back and you will get a strike against you. It is a much bigger problem than people realize. And this isn't just Etsy fucking around. This is actually part of, and I don't know what the law is in Canada actually on this. In the States, there are federal laws around this. And then don't forget that as a person who sells on Etsy, you are not only having to deal with your own laws from your own country. I'm Canadian, I'm in Canada, so I have to be aware of Canadian law, but Etsy has to comply with American law. So I have to be aware of American law, and I should have looked it up, but I'm fucking lazy, but there are some laws about basically shipping bait and switches, where you're making promises you can't keep in order to win the business, and then just not keeping those promises. Anyway, Etsy doesn't fuck around with that. If there's a legal component to what's going on, Etsy won't fuck around. Etsy will not go to court with you, for you, or because of you. So they don't fuck around on that shit, and they don't let their sellers get away with it, because they don't want the they don't want the various legal entities coming after them for letting it happen. So back to shipping. So if you are going to be late shipping, you have to get your buyer's consent. Period. They have to be aware of it and agree to it. And it doesn't need to be some big, long, formal process. It's like, hey, had some stuff come up. I'm going to be late. I need to ship like next week instead of this week. Is that going to be okay? Yeah, sure. Okay, thanks. Click. You're done. Conversation's over, but they have to agree. So if they say, no, that's not okay, sure, not a problem. I'll process your refund in full, including the cost of shipping or any other fees that they have paid to you immediately. You need to cancel the order and refund. You can cancel the order. If nothing's gone out the door yet, you can cancel. You can cancel the order and give them a full refund, but you cannot say, my policies are that I don't accept cancellations, because if you're not keeping up your end of the bargain, yes, you do. Okay. Customer calls you because they want a time-sensitive item. Okay. This is something else about shipping. We as sellers are not responsible for anything that is lost, stolen, delayed, whatever, in shipping. We are not responsible for shipping delays unless we've made a promise. Customer says, I want to order, you sell time-sensitive stuff, an anniversary banner, a birthday card, something, a Christmas card, and I need it by my Christmas party on the 20th, blah, 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 blah. I ordered a Christmas card, I need it by the 20th, will it be here on time? And it's already the 18th. And you say, sure it will. Yeah, it should get there on time. I'll expedite it. You'll get it on time. Don't worry. And it doesn't show up on time. It is now your fault. You cannot come back later and say, well, I'm not responsible for postal delays. It's like, well, then why'd you make me a promise? Why I asked you if you think it's going to get to me on time, and you assured me that it would. Assuring the customer that it will get to them on time when you know damn well that, well, whether or not you do. Like, I'm in Canada. Here's a better example. I'm in Canada, which means that packages are inspected at the border, and some packages are sometimes pulled aside for additional inspection. That's just the normal part of the process. This is how it goes when you send internationally. And a lot of my buyers are in the States, right? It can take up to 30 days for a package to clear customs. They give themselves a 30-day window because sometimes things get backlogged or whatever, and whatever, right? It can take up to 30 days for a package to clear customs. So if anybody, December 1st, somebody contacts me and says, hey, I ordered something from you. Is it going to be here by December 25th? I say, I'm not sure. let me just think. Let me think. I know it's this thing where it's in the brain and I have to get it out the mouth. You ever do that? So you go, well, no wait, no wait. Okay. I will never say to a customer, absolutely, it'll be there before Christmas. I say, shipping wise, I don't see a problem, but it is coming across the border, and there's always the possibility of border delays. I never give a I'm not trying to be evasive or shitty to my buyers or anything like that. Anybody who knows me knows exactly what I'm getting at because I'm in Canada. So if somebody that I know, that I know through the social medias or whatever, it says, "Hey Peggy, I want to order a bag from you, but is it going to get there by Christmas?" I can say, "Yeah, if you order now, it'll be there by Christmas." But keep in mind, border delays for customs can be a thing. So that's a risk at any time of the year, just so you know. But I always try to point it out, unless it's somebody I've communicated with before. Like, I mean, if like there's people that are regular customers of mine that if they say, "Hey, is it going to be here by this day?" I can say, "Yep, should be. Yeah, it should," and I don't worry about it, right? But I know them, and I know what they're gonna. I know them. I know what's going on, and I know what's gonna happen. I know what's gonna happen if it doesn't show up. They're gonna say, "Hey, it didn't show up," and I'm gonna, "Oh man, that sucks. Are you okay with that?" And then, it's okay. I was just checking. Okay, whatever. Customer calls up and they want a birthday card because their kid's birthday is in 3 fucking days. "Oh, I'm gonna expedite it and get to you in 3 days." It's like, no, you're not. For starters, we're still dealing with COVID aftermath. We're still dealing with it, right? There could be a delay at any point along the way, and because you've got such a tight timeline for yourself, sure, if it shows up, you're the fucking hero. But here's the thing: if it doesn't show up, you have to offer that person. You have to be willing to give that person a full refund, including the cost of shipping, because you took on the responsibility of promising that it would be delivered on time. You cannot say, okay, this was the punchline. You cannot say, "Oh yeah, it'll be there on time," and then turn around and go, "Oh, I'm not responsible for postal delays." Then you shouldn't have made a promise. Etsy won't take your side. Etsy is extremely unlikely to take your side in a case where you have made the sale based on telling the buyer that they're going to get it on time. It's that simple. So, keep your promises in regards to shipping. Be aware that if you make a promise, you are expected to keep it, which means that if you make a promise, it'll be here by the 5th. And it's not. And they say, "This is late. I don't have my kid's birthday is today and it's not here. I need a refund. This is not okay." You need to give them the refund. Etsy is not, even, here's the sad part. Even if Etsy does take your side, it's still a strike against you. It can be a problem. Another thing that people don't realize, I am not responsible for blah, 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 blah. My policies are no refunds, no exchanges, no returns, no this, no that. Except if you have not put it in the mail on time, then it reverts to Etsy's policies, so you do. Except if you've made a promise on delivery and then it hasn't shown up when it was supposed to, then you do. And most especially if there's something wrong with the item. You accept a return, you accept a change, you accept, and it's the cut. Okay, you can say refund, you can say I only refund, I don't replace, that's fine. But if you are offering a replacement, you have to also offer a full refund, including the cost of shipping. So here's how this works. I order something and I get the red one instead of the blue one. You see your screw up, I get a full refund, including the cost of shipping. You can say to me, "I only replace, I don't refund." And I can say to you, "Well, you fucked up, so yes you do, and this better include the cost of shipping," because it does. Okay. Now I'm just being a dick. But anyway, if you have screwed up, if it's your screw up, then you can offer them a replacement. You cannot charge them shipping. You cannot charge them anything. It is a 100% free replacement, including the cost of shipping or any other rush expedite fees that they may have paid to you. They get the exact same thing, and it doesn't cost them an extra cent at all. You can also offer them a full refund, and that includes you cannot say, "Oh, I only refund minus shipping." If it's your screw up, you refund in full. Every cent that they've paid you. And that is Etsy's policy, and you can lose your shop if you don't do it. And I don't know if they let you get away with it once, twice, 3 times, but I know it's a strike against you. So because if you fuck something up and refuse to take responsibility for it, that is a problem. So, oh, it's custom. Well, yeah, it says Smith. My name is Smith. You left off the H. It's custom work. I don't do refunds or exchanges on custom work. It's like, no, you're doing a full refund because you screwed it up. Oh, well, I'm not responsible for things that get broken in transit. This was the post office's mistake. It's like, prove it. This is something this is something that goes back and forth. It's really difficult to prove. If something shows up damaged, it's really difficult to prove whether it was damaged because of poor workmanship or a mistake in the workmanship. Let's not call it poor workmanship. Great products get damaged in shipping, so that happens. But can you prove that maybe you didn't put enough packing peanuts that time, or did the 300-pound gorilla at the airport stomp on it? That can be really hard to prove. So it can be really hard sometimes to get Etsy to take your side on it. So if a package is damaged, defective, if it's the wrong thing, if there's an issue with it, you can't just go no. You can't just say no. Now, can you ask for the product back? Yes. Does the buyer have to send it back at their own expense? No. If it is your screw up, the only way you can ask for it back is if you're willing to pay for the shipping, and they just have to drop it off. And depending on the situation, you may not really be in a. Generally speaking, if it's your fault, it's not worth asking for the product back, because it's usually more trouble than it's worth, and you're not really allowed to ask the customer to go the extra mile in order for you to fix your own screw up. So, return shipping, yes. I don't like this. Can I return it? Sure, just send it back. Send it back. Let me know when, maybe, once you have it back, once it's back in the mail, give me the tracking number, and once I've received it, I will be happy to process a refund. Sure, if I've just changed my mind, you can do that. But if you've screwed something up and I'm saying I want a refund, it's a refund in full, and you don't get to charge a restocking fee. You don't get to ask me to pay for the return shipping. You don't get to demand that I must do this and must do that. You can ask for photos, and you can demand photos. Like I'll need to see some photos of this damage before I can, because you can protect yourself from scammers. You don't have to believe every single thing you're being told, but be very, very, very aware that if it is your screw up, hey, I ordered the red one, you sent me the blue one. Oh, gee, I'm sorry. Here's your money back. You don't get to go, well, the blue is just as nice as the red, so I don't see a problem. I'm not accepting this back. It's like, okay, I'm going to make a complaint. It's like, because don't forget, a customer can open a complaint, a case, lose the case, and still phone Etsy to make a complaint, right? And Etsy has a process where they do account reviews. I don't know what it takes to trigger an account review. I'm not even going to pretend to know what it takes to trigger an account review. But if you're doing shit like this, and an account review gets triggered, and they see that every time there's a problem, you just tell them that you're not giving them a refund, they can proactively decide, oh, this is a problem and we don't want you here anymore. I don't know how an account review gets triggered, and I don't know what they look for. So it really is the honor system, but sooner or later you get caught. This is why every now and again you'll see some shop, it's like, I have $100,000 in sales, I don't know what the problem is. It's like, so what are you doing? So how often do you actually ship on time? Well, never. I do this and I do that. You get them talking and you'll figure it out. You get them talking. Usually, I will say that copyright violation is the biggest one. But usually, the ones that really, really, really don't know why, it's usually because an account review has been triggered and it turns out they've been doing something they shouldn't have been behind the scenes. Got an account review triggered for whatever reason. Maybe it's just a random thing. I would guess that Etsy does it randomly every now and again anyway. Got an account review triggered and figured, oh, you do this. We don't allow that. What the fuck? You need to go. Like, you know what I mean? Because Etsy will not go to court with you, for you, or you because of you. And I think I've already said that. So they're not going to tell you. They're not, oh, we did a random account review and found this, so you have to go. It's like, there's your reason to take it to court right there. They're not going to waste their time on that. They just get rid of you, and they're allowed to do that. And that sucks. It's on you as a seller to know the rules. If you're breaking a rule, be very aware of what rules you're breaking and how you're breaking them, because then when Etsy comes along and shuts you down, and you will know why. Okay, that's just me being shitty, but anyway. So your ship by deadline is a part of your policies. It is your policy is to ship within 24 hours, which means that if you don't ship within 24 hours, I can contact you and say, my product doesn't appear to be in the mail as of yet, and I want a refund. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't accept cancellations. It's like, yes, you do. You didn't ship on time. So you get to do that. Extending out your shipping deadline for any reason needs to come with the buyer has to consent, period. You can't just, because, okay, there's a because on this one, because there are people, did I already mention it earlier? I don't know. There are people who have 24-hour, I'll put my package in the mail within 24 hours, and then the instant they get the order, they push it out for 2 weeks. Because they're just trying, if I don't compete, it's like, if that's the only reason why you got my business, you don't fucking need it, and I want my refund, and I'll go to somebody who's playing by the rules. Right? I play by the rules. I expect to do business with people that are playing by the rules. And you cannot just message somebody, hey, I need to push out my shipping deadline. Hey, you haven't responded, so I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. You can't do that. You cannot do that. If you reach out to the customer saying, hey, I got some, hey, shit happened, I need to extend my shipping deadline. If they don't respond to you, you can make an effort to reach out to them. But I'll tell you right now, don't look them up on Facebook. Don't look them up on other channels. Send them a message to the email address that they provide at when they made the order. Send them a message there. Send them an Etsy message. Don't send them any other messages. That can be considered harassment, and that's a different problem. And I have no idea what the rules are on that, but I know that when customers complain about it, bad things can happen to the sellers. But anyway, if you've tried to reach out to your buyer to let them know that you need to push out the shipping deadline and they are not responding, you can cancel an order at any time for any reason, and you do not need the buyer's permission. Keep that in mind. Anytime, any reason, don't need permission. This is absolutely fine. What is not fine is to push out the ships by deadline without their consent. Oh, I need to push this out. Oh, hey, you didn't respond, so I went ahead and pushed it out by 2 weeks. I come back 3 days after it's been put in the mail and said, I didn't consent to this. I want my money back. If you weren't able to put it out, I was expecting this in my house by now, and you're just putting it in the mail. No, I want my money back. Oh, I'm sorry. And people have done this. It's like they will run to the mailbox, drop it in the mail, and then here's a tracking number. I just put it in the mail a little while ago. It's like, yeah, that's too bad because I didn't consent to you pushing out the shipping deadline, and I no longer want this package. So you need to figure it out because I want a refund. And and this happens. This This is not and sellers come into the groups going, I got scammed. It's like, you didn't get scammed, you played yourself. You played and you got caught because you did not wait to get the buyer's consent. You panicked, you pushed out the shipping deadline, didn't get any communication for them, and maybe that's what they were waiting for. Maybe they were waiting for it and hoping for it. I don't fucking know. But what did happen is you did not get their consent and you pushed out the shipping deadline anyway, and then they either and now sometimes what's going on is the customer doesn't realize that this is what's happened until they see the tracking number, because Etsy will automatically send the notification that something has been shipped. Oh, hey, your package was just shipped, and it's like, this was supposed to have been shipped 2 weeks ago. What the hell? Like you had a 24-hour turnaround on this package. I should have, this happens. Oh, but it's already in the mail. It's already in the mail. Too bad, so sad. It doesn't work that way. If they make a complaint, you're the one who's going to have a problem because you didn't get their consent. Now, sometimes Etsy will take your side because I don't know why. I think it's just a combination of 7.5 million sellers means that they have a huge fucking call center full of people dealing with all this shit. And I've worked in call centers and I've seen it for myself where sometimes staff are a little bit less trained than other staff. So one staff member may think it's okay, but everybody else knows better. And then once they find out, oh, what do you mean you're doing blah? It's like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Like sellers aren't responsible for this once it's in the mail. It's like, oh, in this case they are. I mean, who knows? Maybe the staff member loses their job. I have no idea. But anyway, that's the current rant on shipping. Stay within, if you promise a 3-day turnaround, make sure it's in the mail by day 3. Don't push out the shipping without the buyer's consent. If you have not shipped on time for any reason, your policies no longer apply and it immediately defaults to Etsy's policies, which do allow for a refund, and they don't care why. Oh, if this is, oh, blah, 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 do you need to make a refund? Yeah, just make sure you do this within this, whatever. I don't even know what Etsy's policies on refunds are anymore because I don't even look. These are easy, avoidable mistakes. I should have started the video with that. These are easy, avoidable mistakes. Okay? And there are so many people who live and die by this that they start going off in the forums and whatnot going, oh, this is what you should do. And it's like, this is what you should do if you're trying to lose your shop. Because sooner or later it's going to bite you on the ass. And when it does, and they see that this is something that you've been doing for a while now, then you're, man, I've got weird noises happening today. Anyway, this is not, people get really riled up where shipping is concerned. This is not a problem that you're not at risk. Okay, you're not at risk if you have a 5 to 7 day turnaround on your products to guarantee that you can get them in the mail on time. But you are at risk if you compete with a 24-hour turnaround that you cannot manage. Especially, what they say, especially if you're going to fuck around. You're going to fuck around and get caught. You fucked around and got caught. What's the word? There's a say. I don't know. If anybody knows the proper saying, put it below. Sometimes I'm a little too old to remember this shit. But anyway. So yes, you are allowed, if the customer just simply wants a refund because they want a refund, you're allowed to charge shipping. You're allowed to make them pay for their own return shipping, but if they want a refund because it showed up broken or damaged and it was your fault, or you cannot prove that it wasn't your fault, like I said in the case of something showing up damaged in shipping, then yeah, you're paying for that. You are paying for that. And by the way, restocking fees, if it's not already stated in your policies, you can't charge them. If you want to have the right to charge a restocking fee, you need to have that in your policies in advance, or you're going to get in trouble, and I'm just going to leave that one there on the table. But anyway, that's it. That's my rant. I'm done talking. I'm going to get going, and like, subscribe, ring the bell if that's what you care to be doing. Otherwise, I don't care. I appreciate the time and attention you guys are giving me, but I also appreciate just life in general these days. Anyway, like, subscribe, ring the bell, do the things. Don't forget, I'm trying to take over the world one subscription at a time, and I would love your help. In the meantime, I'm going to get going, and I will talk to you on the next one. Bye.